All right, we're back, and it's COMP1002, Web and Internet Fundamentals, Week 2, Lesson 2, Part 3. And now we're talking about web deployment, which should excite you a little bit more than the stuff we just talked about in the previous video, right? So you want to do a web page, and a client comes to you and says, hey, I have this really cool idea. You know, I want to start a company. And I kind of talked about this last week. I want to start a company. I want you guys to think about a company name for me. You guys here in this group, give me a company name. You're going to make a company, the four of you, right? Give me a company, call out a name, random. Something you want to make. You have a little indie developer group right here, and you're going to produce the next greatest website that's going to be on the awards sites, right? So give me a company name. What is it going to be? 2 seconds, come on. I don't want any kind of deliberation. Come up with something. What is it? Orange. Okay, let's look that up. How do I look it up? I recommend you use something like GoDaddy, or other registrars that are out there. Why GoDaddy, by the way? Why am I choosing GoDaddy and not some other things? Well, for whatever reason, Microsoft and GoDaddy have partnered when it comes to their Azure sites as well. So it's not a bad kind of mix. Okay, so here I'm at GoDaddy.com, right? And GoDaddy is a domain registrar. That's what they do, right? So you can register a domain name with them. So let's look at Orange and see if it's available. I guarantee you it ain't available. It's not available. Let's take a look. I search for Orange, and it says, hey, orange.com is taken, but Orange's photography for $20 a year is okay. Oranges.guru, that's pretty good, $32.89 as a discount. By the way, the regular price is $46.99 a year, right? Oranges.directory, right? So I think oranges.com, you know, that's not going to work. Hey, but you might say, what about other ones? Can I use other ones? You certainly can, but if I'm starting a new business, guess what? The .com is the way to go, right? The other ones, they're minor compared to the .com. First, yes?
Historically, you were saying that .ca was frowned on with search engines. Not totally, but they weren't really excited. What's happening with all these other extensions?
They're trying to get you to buy them.
No, I understand that.
That's it.
Will it impact your SEO?
Yep. Best is .com. Right? They are coming up with additional domains, and the reason for that, especially for these domain extensions, so that way they can excite you. It's more, they're thinking that in the future web, that the more descriptive your domain is, not just the .com for company, that they'll score higher from an SEO perspective. Currently today, not really true yet. Still the .com is the way to go. So let's think of Orange and something else. Can you give me something else? Orange something, and then .com? Are you the spokesperson for the team? Right? Don't I have anybody else on the team here? What if the guy in the blue hat? What's your name? Orange Peels. Oh, I want to hear this, man. Orange Peels. This is interesting. A company name here. We're getting Orange Peels. Hey, it's available for $32,000, right? How come it's $32,000? You can ask yourself, right? It's a very common name, right? The most common names score higher from an SEO perspective, especially on the .com perspective. So this one's it's on an auction, orangepeels.com. Great name, by the way. Like your name now. And so do they, for $32,577.71, right? You want to get it? Want to do it with me? Come on, Orange Peels. What are you going to do with it? Some companies do that, and somebody might say that this is some squatter has taken this website. That's possible, where they've kind of pre-bought this domain, Orange Peels. Someone said someone in the future is going to buy Orange Peels, right? And we're going to take that and resell it to someone for $32,000. And guarantee, guys, they're going to get it, the money. They're going to get it because some company's going to come out of there and pay for it at some point in the future. Unless the web changes, and then it won't matter anymore. Here's orangepeels.ca for $10. I don't know. This is a good reason why I do the .ca. I want my Orange Peels. My company's called Orange Peels Studios. I'm just making it up, right? And I can't afford $32,000, right? But I still want a website that has my name in it. I'm going to choose another one of these.
Now, the extensions, will that count towards keywords as well? So say, for example, Orange Peels photography?
Yes. Anything like that will count higher, and it'll count towards your keywords in the SEO, right? But again, what you want to do is you want the name of your website to reflect the name of your company as best as possible. So if someone comes up with a company name, again, remember I talked about this as a best practice is try and keep it to 2 syllables, 3 max, right, if you can. It doesn't have to be Orange Peel Studios. I guarantee you, if I put Orange Peel Studios on the .com, let's see if that comes up, right? It's available for 12 bucks, right? Why? Because it's huge. Orange Peels Studios with 2 S's here, which is weird, right? Imagine, and I'm sorry, what's your name? Matt? Matt at orangepeelsstudios.com. That's your email. It's pretty clanky, right? So to me, you got to choose a name that's short as possible. By the way, any 3-letter, 4-letter, 5-letter words, chances are gone. Don't try and, you can try them, but most likely they're not available. Why? Because this is late in the web, right? There's a lot of people on the web. They've made thousands upon thousands of websites. That's, again, a low number. Millions of websites that are out there that have used every possible combination of letters for the 5 letters or lower. And they're trying to do that because it's a cool name to have a 5-letter name for your company, right? Like IBM, good luck on that one, right? Or anything like that. Dell, 4 letters. And things like Apple and Orange and all those kind of things, it's not going to happen, right? And I knew that it wasn't going to happen. When you said Orange, I was like, okay, let's see what it's going to be worth. I want to see it, if it's even available. Sometimes what happens is, though, that people own domains and then they get rid of them because their company folds. And they put things up for auction because they want to sell their domain. It's a nice domain, but they sell it for something else. And the same thing goes with names. Like, for example, if you have, your name is John Smith, right? John Smith, right? JohnSmith.com is worth $69,226, right? But then you'd be John at JohnSmith.com, right? You'd be the John Smith. I know it sounds funny, but a lot of times domain is another way of marketing our products. So I have a product, I have a product called Orange Bleach because I sell bleach, right? Guess what I can do? I can do something like this, right? Orange Bleach. But if Orange Bleach is available, orangebleach.com for 12 bucks, right? Guess what that does? I can link my orangebleach.com. I can point it to the same URL, the same site that I have, Orange Peels, right? As an example, which sells soaps or something like that. Natural soap products, making it up, by the way, and organic products, eco-friendly, by the way, right? This team is eco-friendly now, right? Because it's orange peels, right? You can eat the orange peels. You can make soap with orange peels. You can scrub the floor with orange peels. You can wear orange peels, right? Orangepeels.com, right? I'm joking with you. For $32,000, you better do everything. But orange bleach, you produce orange bleach, right? And I have an orange bleach product. From an SEO perspective, I can point right to that subpage, right, in my domain. And now, when I search up orange bleach, bam, your site comes up, orangepeels.com, right? It increases the chances of me finding products. And people do this. They create domains or buy domains for all of their products, like Clorox. If I was to go to Clorox, here's a bleach example again. I don't know why I'm on bleach today. But if I go to Clorox, right, Clorox.com has its own site, right, for Clorox. Now, who owns Clorox, right? If you go to the bottom, right, and you want to see who owns Clorox, well, there's a bunch of products here. They also have Pine Sol, Tilex, and guess what? Each one of these brands, right, it has their own website, but somebody owns them, right? Probably somebody like a Kimberly-Clark or some big company. The Clorox company owns it. Make sense? So again, searching for domain names is one of the first pieces. I need a domain name, right, if I want a custom domain to host my stuff, right? So I can't buy orange peels, right, but this is where I would buy my domain. So I have my domain. Once I have it, what can I do? I can point my domain at my files, but I got to keep my files somewhere. So where are some places you can host your files? Well, you can certainly find some free hosting services, and one of them might be GitHub Pages. Here's one. I might have mentioned this before, GitHub Pages. So go to GitHub Pages, right? You can set up a GitHub account, and you can get a free web hosting plan, right, for your user or organization or a project site. And it'll actually allow you to host your files. So for our class, if you want to do it for our class, if you want to host live, you can certainly use GitHub Pages, right, to do it. There's also other ones that you can use. I'm going to show you a couple of them. DigitalOcean. Let's do DigitalOcean here. DigitalOcean is a cloud service, right, that you can use. And they have some free plans. They also allow you to deploy things like web pages and so on, right? very, very easily, right? And there's free pricing. If you go to pricing, there's $5 a month. They also have some, so they give you some free content, some free plans to start off with nothing. But DigitalOcean is definitely one of the options that you have. And what you're doing is you're actually putting your site files on the cloud, right? And it's being hosted by these guys, DigitalOcean. Google Platform is another big one, right? Google Platform. You go to Google Platform, a Google Cloud Platform, cloud.google.com. You can advertise with them, right? And you can host your files with Google. What a really nice place to host it, right? Google, right? That's really cool. And it's really popular. They have their own cloud services. It's a popular thing these days to host with the cloud, right? So this is another host. And again, they have some free services. You can host some simple websites there as well. You notice they have a free trial available to you, and there's also some standard pricing for some of their websites. And you can talk about they talk about how their pricing works and their model, and they have a calculator for what you want to do, and different products that you can run on Google Platform. And that includes things like a SQL server for a database, your web app server itself, other application servers, business intelligence, machine learning. All kinds of other stuff that you can put on these platforms to run constantly in the background, right? This is the way we go here. This is the future, and this is the current leading edge stuff we do. You can also upload stuff to a local provider, like an ISP, like for example a Bell, TELUS, right? Rogers, bad, right? They're not great at doing that. You can also host on GoDaddy, the registrar, right, and others, right? I don't recommend it from a professional level perspective. Guess what I want? I want uptime. I want scalability. I want ease of my upload. I want to be able to deploy from GitHub, not from FTP. These are all good choices, right? And I want to use some kind of cloud platform these days to do that. Even if it costs the customer $15 a month or $20 a month maintenance as a fee, I'd rather go there and use a big boy like Microsoft or Google or Amazon. Amazon Web Services. Here's another one. Amazon Web Services, right? Or S3, I think it's called. Okay. AWS, Amazon Web Services, right? Here's another one for that. And again, they have pricing, and you can set up an account with Amazon Web Services. They talk about the stuff that they offer, right? They do in-house training. They also support startups. They give, I think, up to $100,000 for startups who want to produce apps on the web for the first year. That's pretty good money. Same thing with Google. Microsoft gives you $60,000 if you're a startup and you have a really good startup idea, right, to produce something on the web with their Azure platform. Okay, let's look at Azure, Microsoft Azure. That's another one, Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure, again, they help sell their web services online as well. Why am I talking about these big boys? Why don't I talk about the local guys that are much less expensive? Because the local guys, I'll be honest with you, are not as performant. They're not as scalable. I can go around the globe and have different instances of my website anywhere in the globe and be scalable with Microsoft, Google, or Amazon, right? I'm going to have 5 nines availability. You know what that means? 99.999999, right? Can your local provider offer that? If there's a blackout in Toronto or Barrie, guess what? Your local provider's out, right? Your website's still up. Not that it would make any sense to people in Toronto or Barrie, because the blackout's going to take you down anyway, right? But the idea is that your web services are up regardless, right? And that's what some people require. They need 100% uptime or near 100% uptime. So that's what these guys allow you to do. Let's take a look at more detail about deploying something on Azure. So I'm going to go manage.windowsazure.com. And you can set up a free account. I'm going to go into use my Microsoft account. See if I can do this. That's not the right one. Let's go this one. And let's get in there and see what happens. Oh yeah, I need to put in my code because you know how it is. I use two-step authentication. I'm just going to skip away from this 1 second and do that. Who uses two-step authentication with their products? It's a really good practice, right? Because if you use Hotmail or something else these days, even Gmail, you can download an authenticator for your phone, and what it does is it enables you to say, hey, this is really neat, by putting in a code here that constantly changes, almost like an RSA ID equivalent, right? And I can put in my code, which always changes, changing right now. So people on the web, even if you try it out, nah, doesn't matter. This is going to change again. Here's my code, right? And I submit, and now I'm in as me, right? So I got some free services here. I'm using pay-as-you-go with my Azure. And here's what Azure looks like, right? I've got some, here's my web apps. I got a few web apps I've developed, right? And I've got some web apps that are running right now that I should probably shut down. So it doesn't need all my money. Let's stop this one. You know, I might as well stop this one. Right? Well, basically what you can do is you can, Tom Bates, I got some money left over on my free credits that I get from working here, right? But let's say I want to deploy to Azure, right? I can do that right from GitHub. So let's try doing that. I'll show you the GitHub deployment, then we'll talk about FileZilla for a second, okay? So here I've got my GitHub, and I've done some updates. Let me do one more update. Sudo git add dot. Right? Here's my GitHub. That's why I was trying to get you to understand GitHub. Sudo git commit -m. And then this is my final version that I'm going to put up. And then sudo git push origin master, right? It's going to go back up to GitHub. Okay, so I've got a GitHub deployment, right? And my site's pretty simple and silly, right? We're going to make a new site here on Windows Azure so you can see the process together, right? And if you want to, you can actually get a subscription to Microsoft Azure through DreamSpark, right? You actually go to DreamSpark. This is a nice way to do it. Go to college. Go to Microsoft DreamSpark again, the same catalog that I showed you before. And if you look down here on the left, there's Microsoft Azure, right? If I click on there, it tells you that if you're a verified student, right, you can get free access to Azure, and you get a MySQL database that's free, and you get some other stuff, a bunch of things that's free, Visual Studio Online, and access to creating some web apps for free for 3 years, as long as you're a student. Guys and girls, I think this is really valid and good stuff to do. Get cracking with cloud services early, get that on your resume, and it's a great way to get a job. All right? So let's talk about how we do this in Azure. I'm just giving you an example. This is just one possibility for you guys. You don't have to obviously deploy in Azure, but I'm going to. I'm going to go new, right? And I'm going to go web app. I'm going to go quick create, right? And if you notice, I've got to create a kind of a custom URL that's available across all Microsoft platforms. So there's got to be a unique name that I created, right? So I'm going to call this thing COMP1002, right? That's available. Let's go further because it's got to be something unique. I'm going to do more of these. Lesson 2, right? So COMP1002 lesson 2. Tom's Greek. That's the service. Let's not use that. I'm going to use East US. You can choose different places in the world, like you can choose Japan, but the farther away it is from us physically, as an example, the longer it'll take from a latency perspective to come up. I can choose multiple sites for my site to exist. If I want to make a site for Europe, I can make a site where Microsoft has a data center close to Europe, and it'll be close to there, so I have less latency than if I had it over here, right? And I can have multiple instances of my website across the world hosted in different data centers. This is the beauty of Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, right? You're going to have more robust, scalable sites like this way. Okay, good. So I've got my lesson. I'm using my Azure Pass, which is going to be free for me. And again, you can do this if you're a student. I'm going to click this checkbox. It's going to start deploying my web app. All right, so this is the one thing it's going to do. Deploying, so if you notice here, it's running. COMP1002 lesson 2. When it's done, right, you'll be able to get to it, right, remotely. And I'll wait for that to be done. In the meantime, one thing to note for FileZilla. FileZilla to me is one of the better file transfer protocol systems. It looks like this, right? All we'd have to put here is the host name that I'm trying to FTP to, and usually I'll have some file information on the right-hand side. I've got a detail, by the way, in the PowerPoint presentation, which is COMP1002 lesson 2 part 2, right? The actual PowerPoint presentation has all this detailed, how to do FileZilla. You put a username and password, and you click quick connect, and then it'll connect you into the files. And there's where you can drag and drop from this side to this side, and it'll upload your files onto a local provider. Yeah, that's old school, right? What we want to try and do is we want to do things with cloud-based platforms. So how do I deploy to these guys, right? Well, here I am. I've got my site up, and I also have here on my dashboard. I want to talk about deployment. So here's my. I want to change my deployment from source control. So it says here, set up deployment from source control. This is right in my dashboard inside of Azure, right? So let's do that. And it's going to ask me where I have it. I have it on GitHub. There it is. I'm going to go next, right? It's going to ask me to log into GitHub. Sure. And now what it's going to do is going to retrieve all of my folders on GitHub, right? And I'm going to go through here and find the one I just made for us today, right? If I can find it. I may not be able to find it because I got a lot of them, right? And I cannot. Let's see if there's more. No. And the reason for that is because I'm using Georgian College, right? That's why I put it up here. But if I did, I could use a deployment from here, deployment target from one of these, right? And then fire it across. That's all I would do. And then when I press the checkbox, I'm good to go. That's one option if I have a GitHub account. The other one is I can set up my deployment credentials. Here's one I can do. And I can set up a username and password. So here's my username for my site. I'm going to call my username Tom. And my password, I got to make it complex. So it's going to be like uppercase T, lowercase t, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's say. You guys can do it too if you want to try and do this for yourself. Uppercase T, lowercase t, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And press enter and go ahead. So it's going to create my, has to be globally unique. That Tom is not available. Let's try that again. So I have to make my, this is another thing I have to do. I have to make my deployment from source control. And I'm running out of time here. But bear with me while I do this one more time for you guys. So instead of Tom, we'll make it so it's, I'll make my last name. This is unique for sure. No one's got that. I'll be very surprised. TT 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. TT 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. That should work. There's no one who has that name. So you know it's working for my credentials. And what it's going to do is produce a way of me using FileZilla to get on there and transfer my files. Let's do that from FileZilla. So this is how it's going to be. You can have a view. Now this is my FTP host name right here. So there's FTP. I'm just going to copy this information on Microsoft Azure to do a real life load. See if I can get to this thing. Copy. I'm going to go to FileZilla. See if I can paste it without an error. I missed the F on the FTP. I know that my username is Tom, or Tsiopoulos, right, my last name. However, you got to be very careful in seeing this. This is the actual deployment FTP user right here that's listed, which is the name of the project plus the name of the person. That's like my domain. So I'm going to put that in there. And then my password, capital T, lowercase t, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then quick connect. If everything goes well, it's going to ask me for a certificate, which I will always accept from Microsoft, and press OK. And now I'm in there. And I can go to site, and I can go to www.root, and there's nothing there. Here's my hosting start HTML file. And I want to go navigate somewhere where I have my files. Right? For example, I have it under on my desktop, and I have it under COMP1002 lesson 2. And I want to take all these files here, right? So I'm going to kind of highlight all these files, and I'm going to drag them across, right, onto the host. Right? That's what FileZilla does. I'm just using FTP to do that. And there we go. And I can delete my hosting start HTML because I don't need to do that. I don't care for that anymore. I don't need that. It's just like default file that they have up there. And we're good to go. We're deployed. Right? Let's check it out. You can check it out too on Azure. If you go to my site name while we stop, and it's called COMP1002 lesson 2 .azurewebsites.net. So let's do that. So COMP1002 lesson 2. If I did it right, that Azure websites on this time crunch, websites.net. And if I'm good, right, if I've done everything correctly, I got my page. That's deployed live everywhere in the world. right now. Okay? Any questions around this? I know it's a big, we're going to do this again and again. It's not the first or last time you're going to see this, guys and girls, right? I'm showing it to you and I'm recording it so you can see it again. I'm giving you a view of what Azure looks like. Again, for students, you can get a free account. I highly recommend for this course. It's great practice for you. You guys are going to use this throughout your careers. Okay? That's it for me. Please do the lab 2, which is due tonight at midnight. It's a very short lab. It details the same kind of stuff we talked about today, right? Nothing different or unusual. If you have a question about it, flip me a quick email and I can try and answer it to you before next week. And that's it.